G'day guys, so we've come out to the mid-north coast. We're out fishing for snapper. The conditions are great. We've got Jim here. Jimmy, say hello Jimmy.
How's it going?
Yeah, so we're going to have a go at float lining. We've had some videos before on, or one video before on float lining. But yeah, we're going to do the float lining snapper fish again, and hopefully we'll give you some footage, some fishing action to see this time. All right, stay tuned.
this.
Yeah, I know.
Probably got about 15 now, maybe, hopefully.
Welcome to Fishing Action Tackle Talk. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Shimano Torium 30 HG. So we're going to be unboxing the Torium, and we're going to be spooling the Torium with the Groach 1000 meter 30 pound braid, and it's multicoloured, so it helps you in knowing how much line you've got out, especially when you're using techniques like float lining or snapper. And this is primarily going to be used as a snapper fishing setup. So to go together with the Torium, we're pairing it up with this, it's a Shimano Jewel. It's a graphite rod, and it's as you can see here, with all graphite rods, they've got a rating here. And this one is a T45, which means that it's got a higher carbon content. So this is the Slow Jig 661 model. So it's primarily a slow jig rod, but it's great to it's a great rod to use also for float lining for snapper. But it's set up as a slow jig outfit. I mean, together with the Torium, it's really a great slow jig reel to use because it's got such a high retrieval rate. So that's why it's actually a good reel for this particular purpose. But I've been able to retrofit this to use it for float lining for snapper, and it's actually a really good combination, and it's really effective, especially with the overhead. And we'll see that when we unbox it, that the overhead allows you to float line a lot easier than a spinning reel. It just allows the line to come off a lot more smoother. You can adjust the tension of the reel as well, so that you can control how fast the line comes off the reel. depending on the conditions. Alright, so now we're going to unbox the Torium. So that's how it comes. You got your warranty card, some instructions in there. You've got your instructions, and more importantly, you've got your bits and pieces. So you've got some tools, and you've got this rod clamp, so you can actually clamp the reel to your rod, so it's more secure. And this is a, I'll show you what this is. So this is a spare, well, it's just like a tool that you can use to undo the nuts. So everything's contained within here, so you don't need any extra tools, and it's also got a little screwdriver there to undo that little screw there if you have to change the position. Now this handle has two positions, and the outer position gives you more cranking power, and the inner position less cranking power. So it depends on how you're actually using the rule and what purpose you're using it for. In our case, we'll be moving the handle to the outer edge, which gives us more turning power. So anyway, what we'll do now is we'll give you a quick look of the Torium. It's a really nice looking reel, and it's quite light, you know, for the power. I think the Torium has about, let's have a look, it's actually got 11 kilo of drag, so it's pretty substantial. I mean, if you hook up to, you know, any fish that you know, any snapper, because this is what we're primarily using this for, but you know, you could use this for bottom bashing, you know, any larger species, and you'll still have enough cranking power to pull them up. But more importantly, this reel is a high-speed retrieval reel. So for every turn of the handle, you're actually retrieving about 1 meter of line, and that's significant because the style of fishing that we do, when we're float lining baits out at the back of the boat in a burley trail, we could have, you know, 200-300 meters of line out. Now to retrieve that line with a slow retrieval reel is painful. So that's why we, you know, I've looked at this reel and I like it, because retrieving the line back is actually a lot easier than the slower reels. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is give you a little bit more of a rundown. So with this reel, you've got this magnetic adjustment on the side, and what that does is when you disengage the clutch, that puts the reel into free spool. Now this magnetic clutch, just basically, if you tighten it, it creates more tension on the free spool, and if you back it down, it actually releases tension. So say for example, if you're letting line out and you just want the reel to do the job without you having to put your thumb on the spool, you can actually adjust this magnetic adjustment here, and you can control the rate of the rate of your line going out without you having to constantly use your thumb to control the speed of the line coming off. Obviously, for you guys who like using your thumb to control the speed, you can back that off and have that sort of, you know, really loose. But I like to use that, you know, in times where I can just control that speed and it's a constant speed. And generally, you would do that, you know, in line with your burley trail. So if you're, you know, throwing cubes out, and you see, you can actually judge the speed of your cubes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is the drag system. So you can control your drag. It's just a star drag system, and that just controls the your drag. So like we said, there's a 11 kilo drag maximum. Generally what you'd like to do is set your drag to about a third of the breaking strain of your line. So in this case we're using 30 pound line. We're using 30 pound line. Set our drag to about 5 5 kilo. And that way, what happens is if you preset your drag, that way if a fish does take off and it is a bigger fish, you're not going to snap your line. Right, so that's pretty much the Torium. It's a very simple reel. There's not much to it. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the Shimano Torium and the Shimano Jewel. And if there's any questions you've got, just leave your questions in the comments, and please like and subscribe.